a box arrived in the mail, which means that it is finally time to do the December TBR because all the books have arrived. And yes, if you are wondering, the box that arrived is the Book of the Month box. I will not be talking about the contents of the Book of the Month box in this particular video because 2 of the books are included. The other 2 are actually from previous months, so they're not recent. But for anyone who's interested in a book subscription service, strongly recommend Book of the Month. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. It's reading time here at JB's Corner. For those of you that are new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Jaya, and here in this little corner of the internet, we talk all things books because your girl got a real bad bookish addiction, okay? It's pretty bad. Like, I love to read. On average, we're talking anywhere between 8 to 12 books per month, sometimes more. Last October, not this year, but last October, I think I hit like almost 22 books. So yeah, it's a little crazy how many books I can go through. It's my way of escaping reality and life, which is why I thoroughly enjoy being able to read a good book. So I thought it would be fun to share the December TBR. And I just absolutely love a good holiday read, especially in the season. So definitely more of a mood reader over here. So this is a mix of different kinds of books. Let's jump into it. The first book that I ended up putting on my list, there are a lot of novellas this year, is The Mistletoe Mystery by Nita, Prose. Now this obviously is set during a holiday Christmas time, and it's following the story of Manuel. Yes. And of course, our lovely main character, the maid Molly. Now, in this book, we are basically getting the love story of the 2 of them, especially after, you know, they have kind of found their way and they've settled in together, they moved in together. And Molly is in for a little treat or surprise at the Regency Hotel. Now, this is a little novella to accompany the first 2 books in the series, which was The Maid, and then what was the second book? Then there was The Mystery Guest, which was the second book, and this is following the second book in the series. Now a third book has also been released. I happen to absolutely love the Nita Prose books. I think the maid's character is adorable. I think the fact that she's slightly autistic, slightly on the spectrum, but still such an amazing human, such an amazing person, such a great value system, as well as the inner workings of the hotel and the way it's been developed and characterized is just so great. So when I found out that there's a novella, I had to pick it up. And it will, of course, be read this December. The next book I have on the list is a Sarah Morgan. Now, you may have noticed this cover from another video, which was my recent book haul from Barnes & Noble's, and you would be correct. This is that same book. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about this book, but essentially we have our main character who's a workaholic who is forced to take a vacation, and one of her high-end clients offers her the opportunity to come and stay in her cabin. Now, Imogen takes this opportunity upon herself, but it turns out that the guest or the client who offered this location for her to stay at also has an agenda, which only she and her daughter know about. I think it'll be a very interesting and cutesy read. I've also heard that it's just an absolutely heartwarming book. It does have over 4 stars on Goodreads and over 70,000 reads. So I'm very, very excited to jump into this one. I read one Sarah Morgan book last year for a book club and I absolutely adored it. So definitely very excited to pop into this one. The next book that I ended up picking up is The Mistletoe Kisser by Lucy Score. This book just sounds like it's going to be so much fun. It is apparently the 8th book in a series, which I did not realize. So we'll see how that goes. But from what I saw on Goodreads, it can be read as a standalone novel. So I'm very excited to pick it up and just see where this Christmas spirit takes me. It sounds like a Grumpy Sunshine kind of book. So I'm very curious to see the story of Sammy Ames and the practice that she's managing for animals come in contact with Ryan Sosa, who also happens to be the gentleman that broke her heart and then doesn't recollect that it happened. So this should be very fun. And it sounds like it's set against a very cutesy kind of small town vibe, which is where the Blue Moon series as a whole has been set. So while some of the characters may not make sense, I'm curious to see what this book has to offer. And then I think if I fall in love with it, I'll probably end up picking up the rest of the Blue Moon series as well. I did talk in more detail about what this book is about in the haul video, so definitely check that out. I will have it tagged at the end of this video, so if you are interested in watching that, you can. We also have another book here that was in the book haul, which was Holiday Bromance. Now, this is following the story of Andrew and Molly as they are trying to travel from Chicago to Dublin. And every year they have sat on the same flight and gotten to know each other and become friends over the years. Now, it just so happens this year, their flight may or may not take off. But Molly knows how important it is for Andrew to get home. So she is going to do everything in her power to make sure that he makes it. Now, if you have any travel coming up, this just sounds like it's going to be so great. I know I have some travel coming up, so I'm very excited to take this with me on that trip. I am so pumped to read this book for this holiday season. I decided I did want to throw a few books in there that aren't 100% holiday, but still holiday themed, so that I'm not consistently just reading romance, because I do get overwhelmed by that. So I ended up finding this book during my haul too, which is Murder at Holly House. Now, this book sounds like it's going to be so much fun. The whole town is involved in the murder that has occurred, and everyone has a secret to hide. And our poor little grubby, angry, frustrated inspector has to figure out what's going on before everyone in town basically becomes the next victim. This book sounds absolutely entertaining and hilarious, and I think it's going to be so fun to read a murder mystery set in the holiday theme. And I think it'll break up the romance books as well. So definitely very, very much excited to be reading this book very, very soon. I do go into, again, more detail about this book in the haul video, which, as I promise, will be attached at the end of this video. There are certain authors that just know how to do Hallmark in a slightly adult way, and I don't know what it is about the winter books, but some reason I don't mind the spice. It doesn't piss me off as long as the characters are well created. So I read that this author is known for doing a perfect amount of Christmas and a perfect amount of spice with a true romance between the various characters. And again, it's set in a small town vibe. So I ended up picking up all three of these novellas by Mary Moore, and I am currently in the process of reading The Mistletoe Bet, which has been cute so far. Definitely has a very Grinchy Christmas spirit. She's the Grinch, he's not. And basically they are going on an adventure and a 5-day process of basically trying to find her Christmas spirit. It is so, so cute so far. I'm really enjoying it. I love the banter between the two characters. The only thing is the description of the male is getting to me a little bit. Like, consistently saying a man has twinkling eyes is not enough for me, but we'll see. I mean, he is a doctor and he has, like, you know, connection to her brother because he was his best friend, has been his best friend forever. Like, they had small town childhood memories together, and she does, the author that is, go into that a little bit, so I'm enjoying it. But we'll definitely see where these books will take us this holiday season in the Strawberry Hollow series. Fun fact, these are available on Kindle Unlimited if you are a Kindle reader, and I do know they're also pretty cheap. I believe if you do want to purchase them on Kindle, they're like $4. So very, very affordable, and sounds like it's going to be an absolute blast for the holidays. Next book up, I have Meghan Quinn's Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal, which is the second book after How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. Now, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas was an absolute win for me last year. I absolutely adored that book. I think it was exactly what I was looking for in a Christmas book, a holiday rom-com vibe. The romance made so much sense. The story between the two characters was so well developed, and the hilarity and the craziness that they get involved in as they're competing to win the Christmas competition in the town was just absolutely epic. So I'm so excited to pop into this one, which will be following our main male character of the previous book's best friend. So this is following Atlas Max Maximer, who did not sign up for this. One minute, he's anxiously trying to keep his family's Christmas tree farm from imploding. And the next, he's passed out in the snow after getting clocked by a suspiciously strong bottle of soda. Enter Betty, new in town, full of holiday cheer, and helping her uncle open a rival tree farm next door. Max is convinced she's out to destroy everything Evergreen Farm stands for. Betty thinks Max might be the one who's one sleigh short of a winter parade. Cue the holiday chaos. Between blizzards, blown reputations, wildly misguided romantic plots, and one stolen ornament with a seriously tragic backstory, this small town war turns into something far messier and much more delicious than either of them expected. And then in red at the top, it says, nothing says I love you like trespassing, public humiliation, and town-wide Christmas spectacle to win your crush back. This sounds like it's going to be so much fun to read. I think I'm just going to actually be sucked into this book. I will not be reading this until I can guarantee I have 5 hours on the couch doing nothing. And this will definitely be a physical and audiobook read for me because I just want to fully sink into the Christmas spirit with this book. So very much excited to read this one by Meghan Quinn. You know how they say third time's the charm? Yeah, she's back. Our Infinite Fates has finally made it back into the rotation. I had a chance to kind of sort of look at this book a little bit, and I realized that in the multiple lives that are talked about within this book, that some of them are actually set in winter settings. So I was like, I can still make this work for the holiday season. For those that don't know, this is a standalone fantasy book following 2 main characters. They are fated to basically go through life in multiple lives, falling in love with one another, but also ultimately killing each other. So they are each other's main love interest and the worst form of enemies that you could possibly be. And as they chase each other through various lives, I'm sure we'll get more and more history as to how they entered into this life loop that they're currently in. And I'm sure in the current life, at some point, they will break this curse that has been plaguing them for ages and ages and ages. So far, I am on chapter 7 of this book. This is the book that I'm currently reading right now. And I have to say, it's been very intriguing and very, very fun. Also, this cover and this copy is just so beautiful. And it's just been such a pleasure to be able to tangibly hold this and read this. I have also been audibling this book, and I feel like it's just the perfect combination to be able to listen and read this book. But so far the writing has been excellent, and it's been really fun to come across a nice fantasy book that is a standalone. And I think that is always a plus when it comes to fantasy, because most books, as you know, are either duologies or trilogies or sometimes even more than that. And so especially with new books, you have to wait for the next book to come out, and that can be a little overwhelming, especially if you're someone like me who just needs the next book right away. The wait, I know, is good for you. I fully understand this, but I'm very excited to dive into a book about a very, very loving couple who are doomed to fail over and over and over again until they break the curse. And I'm just very excited to see where this book can take me in just one book. So far, it's been a blast. So I will definitely fill you guys in as I continue reading. Next book up, we have The Rewind. This is the book that was selected by my book club, the Overbooked book club that I'm currently a part of, that we operate off of Facebook. So once you're in the group, we do Zoom calls and we basically vote on different books every month to see what book we will be channeling, enjoying, and reading in our bookish circle. This year, for Christmas time, The Rewind is what ended up winning. This is by Allison, Winn, Scotch. This book is basically following 2 characters who dated back when they were in undergrad, and they absolutely fell in love with each other. They had the best relationship for 2 years, and then it completely fell apart and just was destroyed. They ended up leaving the relationship crushed, broken, and falling apart. And all of their future relationships have not quite worked out or panned out the way that they had hoped or wanted as they move forward in their life. Forward to the future, and now they're back on campus having to deal with one another as they're there to celebrate 2 of their friends who are getting engaged. And in the process of doing that, they are forced to work together in close proximity for one of the games that has been planned for the event. Problem is, they wake up the next day with no recollection of what's happened, and both of them are wearing wedding rings. They basically spend the rest of the book trying to figure out what has happened as they slowly realize what broke them apart, how they've grown, how their past has helped them grow. And we basically get to see the characters develop throughout the course of the story. This is told from both perspectives, the male and the female perspective, so you get a little bit of everybody in this. It's a great, quirky cast. And I am talking about this book as if I've read it, because I literally just finished this book today. But I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I will definitely give more of a recap in our recap video next month in the new year. Crazy to think. But I will say it was very sweet. It was very enjoyable, and I'm very much excited to see what my book club thinks about this book as well. But I do love the little snippet on the front of the book. It says, "Tonight they'll fall in love like it's 1999. Absolutely love it. We're making progress. We're almost there. 3 left, guys. 3 left. So let's talk about the next book in this list of books that is going to be more mystery focused, and that is going to be Killing Cold. Now, this is a thriller book written by Kate Alice Marshall. And I'm very, very excited to see where this book has to take me. I love a good mystery thriller. Usually I tend to save them for March, but I felt like this was perfect for the winter season. So let me read the inside to you guys. A whirlwind romance. When Theodora Scott met Connor, wealthy, charming, and a member of the powerful Dalton family, she fell in love in an instant. 6 months later, he brought her to Idlewood, his family's isolated winter retreat, to win over his skeptical relatives. Stay away from Connor Dalton. Theo has tried to ignore the threatening messages on her phone, but she can't ignore the footprints in the snow outside the cabin window or the strange sense of familiarity she has about this place. Then, in a disused cabin, Theo finds something impossible, a photo of herself as a child, a photo taken at Idlewood. I've been here before. Theo has almost no recollection of her earliest years, but now she begins to piece together the fragments of her memories and realizes she's in terrible danger. Someone here has a shocking secret that they will do anything to keep hidden, and discovering what happened in Idlewood may cost Theo everything. I am so excited to read this. This just sounds like so much fun. And with the drama and the plot with the family, I just feel like it's going to be great. It kind of gives me the same vibes as Not a Happy Family by, oh my God, what's her name? Shapira something. I'll find the author as well at some point. But I absolutely love that kind of vibe. It also reminds me of Alice Feeney's like Rock, Paper, Scissors. So I felt like it's still going to be perfect for the wintry, cold vibe, and it'll help break up the romance a little bit. But very excited to pick up this book at some point this Christmas season. One thing that I have always wanted to do that I have yet to do is go to New York during the Christmas winter season. I realize it'll be freakishly cold, and as someone who's primarily been in warmer states, I realize that's going to be a little bit much for me to experience, but I love snow, and I love the idea of being there when the ball drops, and I love the idea of the romance in the city. And while I don't ever see myself permanently living in New York, especially after I visited, I loved the city, but it's a little too fast-paced for me. I do love the idea of just slowing down and enjoying the winter season in New York. So if I can't physically be in the city, might as well enjoy the city in a book. The next book on my list is A Winter in New York by Josie Silver. This was a book that was on Book of the Month, I want to say a few years ago. Yes, 2023. And I remember looking at it and not picking it up then. And since then, I have seen reviews on it on Goodreads and other places where people have actually recommended the book and said very positive things about it. So I was like, all right, might as well pick it up. And it has to do with food, so why would I not? You know what I mean? A young chef stumbles upon a secret family recipe that might lead her to the love and life she's been looking for. When Iris decides to move to New York City to restart her life, she realizes she underestimated how big the Big Apple really is. All the nostalgic movies set in New York she's watched with her mom while eating their special secret recipe gelato didn't quite do it justice. But Bobby, Iris's best friend, isn't about to let her hide away. He drags her to a famous autumn street fair in Little Italy, and as they walk among the food stalls, a little family-run gelateria catches her eye. Could it be the same shop that's in an old photo of her mother's? Curious, Iris returns the next day and meets the handsome Gio, who tells her that the shop is in danger of closing. Her uncle, sole keeper of their family's gelato recipe, is recuperating from a stroke and can no longer remember it, so they can't make more. When Iris samples the last remaining batch, she realizes that their gelato and her gelato are one and the same. But how can she tell them she knows their secret recipe when she's not sure why Gio's uncle might have given it to her mother in the first place? Iris offers her services to help recreate the flavor and soon finds herself falling for Gio and his family. But when Gio's uncle finally recovers, all the secrets Iris has been keeping threaten to ruin the new life and new love she's been building all winter long. The only thing I'm worried about with this book is it does sound like it's a little bit of a miscommunication trope, and it does sound like there's some hidden things that could have been addressed in the beginning that could potentially be the climax point of this book, which is probably going to irritate me. But I am excited to see the romance. I am excited to hear about the ice cream shop. I am excited to see the big family, found family vibes that could happen in this book. And obviously grieving a parent or a grandparent is a very difficult time period. So I'm going to give Iris a little break here and say maybe she's not in her full wits when this situation comes up. But I am very, very excited to see where this book takes me, and I hope that it allows me to experience a little bit of a winter in New York. All right, guys, we've made it to the last book. Are you excited? It is none other than Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. Now, when I found out B.K. Borison was coming out with a winter book, I was already excited because I really loved First Time Caller by her, and I really loved the atmosphere in Love Light Farms, which is also a Christmas themed story. So while Love Light Farms, her first book, was not necessarily my favorite in terms of the characters development, the overall writing style, the way that she tells a story, the environment she creates was perfect, and her writing has only improved. So First Time Caller was absolutely incredible. I loved that book. So when I realized she was releasing another Christmas story, I had to pick it up. Add to that, it's a paranormal love story. I was like, I'm here for it. So this is very much my vibes and something I'm very excited for this holiday season. He's the ghost of Christmas past. She's not exactly Scrooge. Ghost of Christmas past Nolan Callahan intends to spend this holiday haunting like every other. Get in, get out, return to his otherwise aimless existence as a ghost awaiting the afterlife. But when he's faced with Harriet York, the sweetest assignment he's ever had, he suddenly finds himself wishing for a future. Harriet York has no idea why she's being haunted. She's a good person, or at least she tries to be. People pleaser to her core. She always does what's expected of her. But as she and Nolan begin to examine her past, they discover there are threads that bind them together and realize there might be more to moving on than expected. With the deadline of Christmas Eve fast approaching, will they find the key to their futures in each other's pasts? Or will they stay firmly in the present, indulging in their unexpected, spirited connection? It just sounds so cute and so sweet. And I feel like Christmas Carol is one of my favorite, childhood memories of the holiday season and what it truly represents, just the joy of celebration with so many different people. I will say I'm Hindu, so I don't necessarily follow the Catholic Mass or anything like that, but I do love what Christmas represents, just that feeling of family and community and connection and love. And I feel like this is what this book is going to be exploring. So I can't wait to see the warmth that is in my heart after reading this book. And I feel like it's so perfect for the Christmas season. We made it, you guys. That's the end. So that is all of the books that I have on my TBR for December. I hope some of these books are books that seem inspiring or fun to you guys as well. I will obviously keep you posted through the reading journey on this channel, and I can't wait to dive into all of these holiday vibe books. That being said, I just wanted to say to those of you that are new, welcome again to the family and welcome to the channel. If you guys enjoyed the vibes here at this channel, if you feel like bookish themed content is your cup of tea, and if you feel like you enjoy that with a little randomness here and there, vlogs, such things, then you're definitely in the right place. Consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. We would love to have you back to be part of the family. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much for being here. As we know, community and bookish themed community in particular means the absolute world to me. I love how loving and encouraging everyone is. I love how we get to share different experiences that books create in each of us, because everyone interprets books in so many different ways, and it's such a creative and intellectually challenging space to kind of explore different perspectives of different characters from different walks of life, almost allowing you to experience so many different lives yourself. And I think it's also a great way to connect different strangers together in their love for books. And I can't thank every single one of you enough for all of your views, all of your support, for returning on a regular basis to watch the videos in this channel, for your comments. I genuinely love reading them. I love responding to them. So thank you again for creating a safe space to be able to talk all things books. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. And I will leave everybody with this during this holiday season. I hope that every single one of you are feeling safe, warm, happy, surrounded by love and by family, and plenty of time to rest, relax, and read, especially in this wonderful holiday season. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.